Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I'm Gypsy Girl, here to give you another elemental reading for the month of August 2023. This is for the air element. That would be the Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius would represent anywhere in your chart. If you have planets in those signs or around those signs, then you might want to look into what planets are there, and that'll help you discern the way you see life, the way you feel in life, the way you move in life, because that's what the planets would represent. Right? They give us that drive, or they hold us back. Let's see what messages we have. A proposal, a conversation for proposal. Focusing on that conversation for proposal. Well, see, that's what August is bringing. There it is. Culmination. Proposal for marriage. All that love. It's an end of a cycle. Wow. Queen of Cups. Healing. Changing your perspective. Changing, growing. Reciprocity. Justice. All of that. See? It's all coming to a culmination in August. It will be the beginning of the culmination, if you will. Okay, now we do have moons to look at. So there's I know there's an eclipse, but I'm not sure when. I didn't look into it, but that makes sense with that proposal coming. Beginning of a new relationship, wanting to develop and grow. It's normal. So for air elements, I'm getting messages, I'm still trying to shuffle. Definitely working on that love. Wanting, and it is divinely guided. Protecting what you love. Feeling that missing, that sense of missing. You're missing having a good time. You're missing going out and having fun. But it's divinely guided that you feel that missing, so that you make up your mind what you really want. Again, August. We need to really pay attention. And that will bring me to say you need to look at the lesson on the 4th of August, because it all relates, and all of the elements. If you are so inclined to go very deep with your spirituality, you should listen to all of the element readings, simply because we all have a little bit of all, if not a lot of some of the elements in our charts. We are affected. It is at what degree you feel that effect and being affected. Again, love, leaving, walking away from love, divinely guided. It is in the other elemental readings, where for some the relationship is culminating and coming to an end, and for others to a good end, in a sense where you have completed the cycle of life with this person. It is to say this is the end is not a bad thing. It is just to say that you and this person have come to the end of your journey in this life, and probably culminating many lifetimes if you want to go that far deep into spirituality, where you see on different levels the communication and the connectivity that you have with particular people in this life may be a result of other lives. I'll leave that there. But just to say, in this lifetime, people who are leaving relationships or feel that sense of leaving a relationship or needing to leave a relationship, you need to go in deeply within yourself to understand the reason why. Because once you know why you are leaving and you're standing in your truth of it, divinely guided, then it's not a bad thing. Some relationships have to come to an end in order for others to begin, and yet for others to even become a possibility for a relationship. Okay, we all move through this life relating on different levels. It is as to what level you relate with yourself will determine how you relate to others from the past. You see, this is everything that we've learned, all of what we've grown with, all of our experiences of love in the past bring us to where we are now. Now, how far back is the past is up to you, you know. Leaving, that sense of leaving, okay, focusing on what you're missing. So you're leaving something behind to go to what you're missing, what you know. And now that can be a little dangerous, because if you're leaving the future to go in the past, you might want to be careful with that. And that is what August is bringing. On the 4th, where the devil sits, where we sit, where the devil is placed, where Spirit gives us in the lesson, that is what I'm talking about, where we come to realize we need to say no to certain things, and we do it. We do it. Being able to walk away from the past, because it brings a sense of lack. It's focused on what you're missing, what you don't have. Controlling emotional behavior, an emotional connection. It's not going to happen, eh? Just so you know, because you're leaving. You're leaving that, what was set up, structure, belief, if you will, because it's what you have grown to accept, that this is how my life is. Well, you have come to realize, no, you don't want that, and you're focused on what you're missing. So you know what you want, and you know why you're not getting it, and this is why you want to leave, because you know why are you being stopped from getting what you know you want. Divinely guided again. And that is what we need to apply to all the other elements when we listen to them. When you listen to those readings, you need to come down to this one so that you can see where your perspective really lies. And where you want to go, and what you love and what you want to protect. And it will take time. It will take time. But it's a broken 5 here, and then it is a 5 here. So we have that 10 of Pentacles, where it's a bit difficult, but it is worth the effort, because you will celebrate. You will celebrate because of your patience, and you'll make new plans, just like in the water signs. Make new plans because you're bored. You're bored with the thievery and the treachery and the lies and the deceit, and you want to end that and put down the burden and heal that broken heart. Comes to an end. And that will bring us into September. The air element is where all the wisdom is, eh? Because it is up in the mental, it's the thinking processes. And I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, and your energy for bringing in the air element so easily. And it's a relief, it's a breath of fresh air with the air elements are a concern because we have leadership. This, again, it's connecting to the water signs and the earth signs. I mean, the earth and the water element readings. I'm working on the signs. That's going to come out soon. But it's just to say, because of the lesson on the 4th being such a heavy and very dramatic lesson, it is very connected to all of the element readings, especially when we talk about the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands that are working together for betrayal, which is justified because they are in a sense of lack. And this has to take place. Again, this is another example of things may not be as they appear. Things may not appear as they seem. Things may not be as they seem. That card, that funny card where we have the fairies, the mischievous fairies, that oracle card from the lessons, it makes me think of that, where we're working on, I'm just giving you a reading here. Wow. For the month of August, air element is because of where the North Node is in Libra. You see, that's where the justice comes in, that justification for betrayal. He's the king, the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands are working together for a final betrayal. Look at that. Final betrayal. That is justified for a sense of lack, control, emotional, controlling emotionally a relationship. Sorry, I keep saying emotional, but it is that. Controlling emotionally, like psychically going in and controlling a relationship. It's not going to happen. But that is the plan, because the justice will be served. And this meaning of a sense of lack is where the ego will be broken. It's not going to happen. If you are in a relationship where you are suspicious, your truth will come. If it is that you feel that there is a sense of betrayal where your partner may or may not be opening up or giving you all the truth, or you feel that emotional, you're psychically, you're feeling it, something is a doubt, then you need to pay attention. You need to sit with that and ask yourself why you feel like that. And if you cannot get a real conversation about that feeling with your partner, then you have your answer. It's as simple as that. And then Spirit will guide you through the same emotional connection that you have to receive that information, because that's Spirit talking to you. When you go into your perspectives and take on a different perception, that's Spirit communicating with you and telling you go this way and go that way. When you think, oh, I think I want to, it's usually because you're in communion with a higher power, and we may not even realize it, but you're following your instinct. And that instinct is Spirit saying, do this, do that, and you hear it as your voice. Wow, these elemental readings are very deep. For all, I hear myself give these messages, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's it's a reading and a half. And I haven't even asked what are the messages, and I keep getting messages. So it's again, the 7 with the 13 and the 21 with the truth, the knave of truth. Sorry, the knave of swords here. And the I think it was the water element that I was giving a very eloquent, I would say eloquent, but detailed. It was, to me, it was eloquent. Sorry. But yeah, this card has a deep sense of truth behind it. And again, turning and changing direction in your life because of what you find out as truth. To end the cycle. Transform your life. Again, with the reciprocity. So as people are leaving, as well as people are coming together in relationships, and it is destined for it. And once you take a deep breath and accept that huge change in your life, anxiety will disappear. All right, this is treachery. Again, the truth about treachery by the moon will end the cycle. There it is. So see where the moon phases are right now when you pick up this, and know that you will know the truth about any treachery in your relationship. What's this showing here? Again, focus on work. Focus on working on yourself. Focus on working on what is the truth. Focus on working on moving away from and completing any treachery that is in your life right now, with a King of Wands. Making new plans because he's bored. He's bored with the same. He wants something different. And that is progress, wanting something different than what you know. The layout is the same as the last reading. I thank you, Spirit, for your guidance and protection, helping the air elements with all of this information. It's a lot. Thank you, Spirit. Again, the focus. Spirit is saying to focus. Focus and work on that proposal. If you're the one listening, it is about what you've done in the past, what you've come through, your projects, the work that you've done, the investment that you've made into a particular relationship. That is what you need to focus on, to be able to set up your boundaries and fulfill your destiny. Wow. If you're determined to be in a long-term relationship, then you're going the right way when you pay attention and you focus on that, what it is you want. And know that there will be obstacles. There's always obstacles. But it is when you focus on what you really want, obstacles tend to fall to the side. What are the important messages for air signs, air elements, for the air element anywhere in your chart? And when I say that, it just refers to, even if you don't have a planet or a node or anything, stars represented in signs that are of the air element, it doesn't mean that you're not affected, eh? It just says that you're open wide. You're open. There is no distraction to getting the full force of what that sign in air element for this reading can bring to you. You're open to it, meaning that there's no karmic connection to, say, Libra. If there's nothing in the Libra for you in your chart, you are still very, very much affected, because the lunar node is in, one of the lunar nodes is in Libra. It shifted, the shift of the lunar nodes to know where your lunar nodes are, just go check on your birth chart and you'll see. But you will be affected, and it is on the mental level. It is air. So and what we speak, how we think, the process of thought. If we shift into a new process of thought, which is what is happening. It is what is happening. Now, we have here the Knave of Wands, so this is very passionate innovation coming through, wanting to come through. So ideas that have been built up from the past, and if we're going with every message that falls out, it is all linked. This is how we are moving forward in the month of August with that innovation. And of course, because of Leo, it is very prominent, because this is Leo is the sun, August. Okay, the ruler. So where is your sun sign is what would come from this reading. Go look and see, and then reflect on the air element in respect to your sun sign, and see where you have Leo in your chart, because you will definitely be affected, and in a passionate way, whether it is in your creative sense of writing, speaking, or movement in dance, or any kind of movement, physical movement. It's a transformation, and it's a 12 and a 13, so this is divinely guided again. And look at it, it's higher arcana with this in the middle. So changing your perspective going forward, and changing your life. For those of you who want that proposal, who want to make that proposal, it will change your life. The question is, in what direction will you go? I thank you, Spirit, for these messages. What do the air elements need to know for the month of August? So again, the reading or the layout is the same as the last. I haven't changed that. So the first line will represent the viewer, whether you are an air element or not. Watching this as a cross-watcher is what I mean to say. You will fit yourself in the first or in the second, but the second line is the interaction between you and another, or you and others. And the third line is the layout, is the end result. What comes from this reading? And to begin, we have abundance, the Ace of Cups. We saw earlier the Ace of Wands. So this is definitely about a relationship, and it does connect to the other elements, and you really should pay attention to the water in particular, and well, all of them, I should say, because they all have their special bit of information that is dramatic at some point, but then you can fit that into your life where you are now, and see where your partner may be, or where you both may end up in a relationship, and how you want your relationship to flourish, especially with that earth and fire element reading. It's very, very I just say it's dramatic. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have our Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Again, it comes up. Wanting to celebrate. Wanting to celebrate a sense of lack. I have to look into that. Celebrating weakness. Celebrating a sense of lack. Not having, missing. Celebrating missing. Wanting to celebrate something that's missing. Interesting. Okay, that sense of lack and celebration, it falls into the explanation of going to a party and not feeling welcome. And that's exactly what the lesson on the 4th if I'm not mistaken, it is about the Three of Cups, where I do say that they want, this is the the Queen of Wands moving in that direction here, followed by the Knight, and we have to see why. So let's just make the connections with the lines. This coming here, this Queen of Wands and the King of Cups holding back. So there's a secret, because there is justification here. There is justice within the secret for satisfaction and manifesting. Wow, this is really like the lesson on the 4th. Again, with the relationship that's divinely guided, it wants to go to a higher level of marriage, and there's a sense of lack, weakness. See, this is a weakness here. We're going to take cards on that. And then the Devil is here. Look at that. The Devil is here with this Knight of Wands, justifying obsession. That's where it connects with the lesson on the 4th. Because of that, Devil sitting in the position where we get to decide, there is justice here for that, for the obsession to be held back, for a divinely guided marriage. So the relationship will be protected. It is being protected. It's divinely guided. Right. It's definitely about a relationship. And the King of Cups here, the 4th cup. See, this is where the obsession is of that lethargy. That the Devil is stopping that sense of boredom, sense of I don't want this anymore and I want to change, because he's working on it, because he's divinely guided. He wants to follow his queen. He's following the queen in that sense to a celebration, bringing the queen to a celebration. But communication in itself, that 4 and the 4 here is what is being held back, that celebration, because it is because there is a secret. And that is again where if you want to go into a relationship and make a proposal for marriage, two levels here. And I say 2, I mean there's a bunch of levels, but I'll just bring out 2 just to keep it simple. The secret is in that you want to make the proposal. You don't want anybody to know. You want to clean up your act. You want to do things properly. You want to get away from those obsessions. You want to get away from the lethargy. You want to justify. Okay? You want to justify this proposal for marriage, because there is a sense of I'm not enough. It is not enough. Whatever you're doing is not enough. That celebration. See, there's too much partying going on. Again, it is connected to the lesson on the 4th. If you haven't listened to it, do go and listen to it, and then come back to this reading, because it is all in here. It is all here. I'm seeing it. All the cards are showing it. So let's take some cards and see what. Let's start. Well, I always start at the beginning, but I want to know what the sense of lack in celebration here is about. But we'll see, what is this 3 of Cups representing. Again, it's a healing, the truth, to go out and talk about this healing truth. All this, what the lethargy brings in, because remember, it 3 and the 1 here, the 4 of Cups. He wants to heal. So we would say it is the prince here, or the knight, with the queen wanting to heal and have that truth working on setting up that proposal. And again, it's all in layers, intuitively. See, following the instinct to heal, following that instinct and working on it, and looking into all the reasons why, just like I'm saying. And the focus is there for destiny to go to that higher level. Holding back on the change, healing. That anxiety, there it is, there it is. All right, so it is all there to come up to the proposal. See, it is all there, because there's a question of marriage, but then the ego will then be humbled, and then there it is again with the healing showing up at the end. So it is all for the marriage proposal and what you really want. And it's not just marriage, eh? It could just mean you want to just become more serious with your partner. You're developing and growing, and the relationship is moving along, and it is with celebration that we realize our satisfaction is divinely guided, because we know what we want, so we're able to temper. And that is the good news in this reading. As I did the elements, I noticed that the first two were really, really rough and tough and just very dramatic. And then as we move through the water to the air, it just simmers down, and everything is justifiable. What is the justice card represent here? Again, that sense of that loss, that I'm missing something. We're going to come back to that, but because it's all justified here with the devil coming in, the anxiety for the proposal, the ego will be the final betrayal and putting down of the burden for that betrayal that took place in the past, as we went through all the messages that were falling out, for the reciprocity, for the tower coming down. The prince, the knight, again, is going to express himself and be very passionate, but he's going to take his time because he needs to build up the courage and have his victory. And he will have his victory, and he will speak about what was done in the past. And it just goes on and on and on. It is good news. It is good news. What you really want. Again, I did say it in one of I think it was the last element I did, which may have been the water. Just please listen to them if you're inclined to. If you feel like you want to explore all of this in a deeper level, you really do need to listen to all of them. But because the devil is showing up here, and I did say it for the other elemental reading, where that self-love, that self-indulgence, that selfishness is what we have to look into as a obsession. It's one of the many obsessions, and being selfish in love, and wanting to manipulate and control love. The devil isn't going to have that. Spirit is putting the devil right in our face to say, this, what you think you're going to do to make a relationship be destroyed, is not going to happen if it's not meant to happen. Spirit will use us as the tool to do the dirty work here on earth. That is why we have good and bad, because we're meant to do good and bad. It's just which is our turn. When is our turn? And the devil showing up says, no, it's not happening. Sorry about that. I just had a little bit of a disturbance there and got a cup of coffee while I was at it. I'm needing one with this reading. But it's a good reading. it's a good sense of you seeing what you need to temper in your life, and you're seeing where in your relationships, because it just because I see here the prominent messages is that there are those of us who are wanting to solidify a relationship and take it to that higher level of marriage. Those of us who are looking for that will get it. Now, those of us who are suspicious of getting into a relationship because of a third party situation that has been building and building and building over the months, I mean, we've had eclipses, and that's usually what happens. We have relationships that build up very quickly and then crash and burn by the end of the eclipse. And this is how we learn and grow, people. You know, this is how we get through the difficulties in life, and how we relate brings us to a higher level, or it brings us down to a sense of lack. Let's take some cards on the 5. What is this 5 of coins representing? The end of a cycle, changing direction. Our knave has come back with changing perspective, a victory card. You see, we have that rising up, 5 to the 6, going up. We have High Arcana coming in with Spirit guiding our steps and telling us, no, this is what you deserve. You deserve to change your life and go for a marriage. You've earned it. Just desserts. So there is a humbling. That I said the king had to humble himself. The prince, following the queen for marriage, humbles himself. Celebrating that victory. See, celebrating the weakness. Again, one of the lessons over the weeks gone by is that to not fight, to not go into that battle, to stand in your truth and back down from, or picking your battles, in other words, is where your victory comes in. By not going into the dark tunnels of deception, you step away from that, and you use your strength of what you believe in to do the right thing. Again, coming back to that message about the devil, where you will not do your own will to cause a detriment to yourself and another in Spirit's eyes. If Spirit says to you, you have to go out and kill somebody, you will want to do it. That is how it works. And if Spirit says you will not go and hurt anybody, you will not want to hurt anybody. We are led by our higher selves, whether we want to believe it or not. We have that conscience, that voice, that inner voice that we talk to, or we try to convince ourselves of certain things. But when we listen, we hear the voice of Spirit through our own speech, our own thoughts. It is where we are guided. And following the queen to marriage that will be successful is having all that abundance, and that ace of coins that came in earlier. Knowing what you love, Spirit is protecting. Spirit is protecting. And not allowing. Again, this is for our own good. Those of us who want, and I also see the indulgence here, that self-satisfaction, okay, coming into play. The magician, what is the magician representing here? The truth about the king, making new plans, was bored. You see the manipulation, that's where the manipulation came in. Was bored and held back. That's 6. That's 6, bored with love. And he was holding back on what he had to say. He didn't want to say. Now he's grown and changed because of what has happened in the past. That independence, that self-satisfaction. building up on your own independence, wanting to be alone and then not wanting to be alone. You see that turn again, going back on, oh, this is all that I invested in, and now I'm gonna have my abundance, but I'll be alone, and I don't want to be alone. I want to be in communication. I need to speak my truth. I need to say what I have to say, and he's working on it, because it goes from, that would be the 9. There's the anxiety building up to be in a juggling act for love. Comes to an end. A new beginning. That marriage would be on a new road, a new path for commitment with the goddess that will heal. You see, there's where that self-satisfaction ends up. Because Spirit says, no, you're not going to indulge. You will indulge, but not more than. And you will change the direction, because it says so right here. You see where the devil comes in and says, no, for what you love, for that indulgence, you're going to turn it around. You're going to turn it around, you turn it into a victory, and you're going to heal with a real commitment that will be even more solid, because of that dilemma of choosing where you want to go. The will is everything. Again, lesson on the 4th of August. I will not stop saying it, because for each element it applies. It is truly following the lesson and helping ourselves get that self-love, that abundance, that new beginning, that relationship that is true and very loving, because our prince is building up the courage to take back what was taken from him, which is his integrity. And I know I said taken from him, and I do say you cannot take you lower your own standards. No one can take your integrity, but he was robbed. He was robbed of an opportunity for love, because now he's building up the courage to go and get it again. And I say for love because of the Queen here. You see, healing that unconditional love because of treachery. Arguing about the direction you want to take. Destiny says you will leave and go off into smooth waters. That inner turmoil about self-deception, you will heal that with unconditional love, because you will break the habit. You will say, nah, it's not what I want anymore. I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to have multiple relationships. I don't want to cheat on my wife. I don't want to cheat on my husband. No, just pick one, anyone. They're all there. All the obsessions, all of what we could possibly have as an obsession. We're facing it this month, and through the desire for learning and being victorious and rising above, because we're working on our spiritual growth and expansion, because that's what the 3 of Cups is all about. It's growing on a communicative level, whether it is spiritual or on an earthly plane, or in a mix of the two, because that's what it comes to when we get into our state of ecstasy, if you want, on any level, whether it's alcohol or drugs or sex or conversation or spirituality, religion, wherever you want to be so deeply indulgent in. That's where Spirit is going to come with the message of victory. Wow. It's very, very deep. We have to face that which is killing us in order to gain new life. And it is that, the phoenix, rising of the phoenix, when you die to your circumstance, you die to the situation, you give up the ghost and say, okay, you know what, I surrender. I am an alcoholic and I don't want to be an alcoholic anymore. Or I did cheat on my wife and I don't want to do it anymore. Or I did have multiple relationships during my marriage and never told my husband. All those dramatic stories is what Spirit is going to use through the devil, make us see that so that we could say, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. What is the oracle message for the air elements for August 2023? Thank you, Spirit. It's really deep, this cup right here. This Ace of Cups is this is why the King of Cups is so, his cup is so big, and he's right here. See the King of Cups here with that ability to give a blessing and be the ruler of love and say, yes, I know you love each other and you must be together. You two should be. That ability to do that is coming from the devil himself, saying that you will marry. If you're going to marry, you're going to marry. Nobody can stop that. And who you're going to marry is going to be just for you, because Spirit is making sure of that. And we have chaos and conflict with mending chaos and conflict. There we go. You're going to get through it. When you think you've lost everything, that's when Spirit turns and says, you just got everything. And you have. You're masterful about what you know and what you need to do and say. You know it. And Spirit is protecting that. With all of what you need, you have it. All of what you need, you have it. So let's see what the chaos and conflict is all about. And I say that to bring it in for the other elements too, because it's very difficult for some of us, and for others it's not so difficult, and then again for others we don't even feel it. It depends on what level you are at. 33, very spiritual number. But if we were at 33 now, we should be 32 would have been where we were. There we go. And TikTok is 31 is Y. 32 would be here now. So where we were before, just before now, we're being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time. That's where we were before we got into chaos. And then chaos came. Disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. So this is where everything has to get mixed up and turned up and upset the table and spill all the milk and all that good stuff, in order for us to see, hey, wait a minute, I don't want to do this, I want to do that instead. And we're going to look at it, it's in the upright position, so this is good. We'll look at it for the oracle message in itself. Opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. But consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it, scattered to the winds. You leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. So you may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to the reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. Again, it comes back to this card, where you humble yourself. That is the victory. To agree and accept that you win by losing. Giving it up. Letting it go. Letting things fall away will bring you your victory. Knowing what you really want and what you're willing to sacrifice to get it, because of that fire right there, that fire burns away doubt and fear and indecision and chaos and confusion and treachery and all of that. You throw that away. Throw it out. You don't need it. You don't need that. Why would you need to be in a state of mind of confusion? You don't need it. None of us do. But we have to go through it in order to realize we don't need it. And that's where the mending comes in. 52. Let's see, like 52. 52, 51, we would be soulmates, of course. 52 is the chopping. No, that's 42. Sorry about that. Mending. 51. 51 is milk and honey. The taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. You see, you had that just before we got into this little bit of a turmoil. And we're into mending, forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. And it is in the upright position. So we look at the relationship on that one. You've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you're to move forward, separate or together. You and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and an honest redress. Honest redress. Forgiveness. Mending. And with that, I thank you for showing up. For your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Until our next read, Air Elements. Love and light.